Hello dear students, in this video we are going to learn about the objectives and the methods of struggle of the assertive nationalists. In our previous video we had learned the causes of partition of Bengal and the Surat split. The possible questions about those two parts can be: when and by whom was Bengal partitioned? What were the causes of partition of Bengal? What were its perspectives by the nationalists? What were the motives behind the partition? And from the part of Surat split, what do you mean by the term Surat split? What were the causes of split between the members of two groups of Indian National Congress? In this part we are going to learn about the objectives and the methods. In objectives, number 1, the immediate attainment of Swaraj, self-rule or complete independence was the main objective. To get larger share of Indians in the administration. The next objective is to end Britain's economic exploitation of India. Then next is to encourage Indian system of education. And then next is to follow the policy of passive resistance, vigorous political action, and continuous struggle for freedom. Well, what is passive resistance? It is a non-violent opposition to the British government, especially refusal to the British to cooperate with them in their governance. So there are a few objectives. Next comes the methods. In methods, the points are Swadeshi, boycott, national education, revivalism, involvement of mass, passive resistance, and personal sacrifice. First of which comes the Swadeshi. The Swadeshi is producing necessary items in one's own country and using them without being dependent on imported goods. Basically, what Swadeshi is, the use of one's own country's good, the use of goods of one's own country. Here, we have the term also not to be dependent on the imported goods. Next of the method is boycott. Boycott is to deny the use of foreign goods. Swadeshi and boycott were the two sides of the same coin. If we had to boycott the British goods those days, we had to make things of our own country, that is Swadeshi. If one has to be followed, the other has to be left. If this has to be left, the Swadeshi has to be practiced in large. It led to the encouragement of Indian industries because under Swadeshi they had to produce the things that they needed. So a large number of small scale and large scale industries were set up. This was the period when Tata iron and steel mills were made in India. And many chemical and shop factories were set up. Next comes the national education. The leaders thought the Western education is making the educated mass to be loyal to the British government. Hence, education to be Indians, to be taught by Indian teachers, and students to be taught to be ready for the fight against the British for the motherland. So, a scheme of national education system was planned to replace the government-controlled institutions. The government did not let them go easily. There were strict disciplinary actions taken. Despite disciplinary actions taken by the British government, the leaders advocated the national schools, colleges, and universities. Because of this, a large number of national schools and colleges were set up in different parts of the country, like Kolkata and Chennai, while In Punjab, the DAB movement made effort to spread national education in the country. Efforts were made to give education in the vernacular languages, that is, language of the locality. In Odisha, it was Odia. In Bengal, it was Bengali. And in Tamil Nadu, it was Tamil language, what we call the vernacular languages. The next of the methods of the assertive nationalists was the passive resistance, to be non-violent resistance and to follow a rigorous political action to achieve the aims. The aims or objectives of the assertive nationalists was, yes, to obtain self-rule or Swaraj. The leaders asked the people to refuse to cooperate with the government and boycott the schools, colleges and offices. Next comes the revivalism. Revivalism is to revive or go to the past, learn about the heroic efforts of the past leaders and rich cultural heritage of India. The leaders revived self-respect by referring to India's past glory. Bal Gangadhar Tilak revived the Shivaji festival in 1895 to celebrate birth anniversary of Shivaji Maharaj. Other leaders like Maharana Pratap and Chandragupta II, who was known as Chandragupta Vikramaditya, the story of these heroes were also were presented as national heroes. They were presented as national heroes. Next method is personal sacrifice. The leaders were ready to sacrifice for the freedom and they taught to the youth to be ready for the same. The leaders used self-reliance and were ready for self-sacrifice. Then comes the mass movement. Prior to this assertive nationalists, the leaders of early Congress were known as moderates. They were a few learned people in the Congress. Common people or mass was not involved. While in the second phase under assertive nationalists, the assertive nationalist leaders wanted to involve the masses. The leaders had faith in the strength of the masses. They aroused the masses by influencing them with their sacrifices and suffering. They themselves, as leaders, sacrificed and suffered, and it became an example for the youth to be ready for the motherland. These are a few points about the objectives and methods. The contribution of three great assertive nationalists we are going to learn next. Till then, keep learning, stay home, stay safe. Bye-bye.